joysticks. I have no selected for the virtual joysticks, don't want them on the screen. Joystick mode. Mode 2 is the main settings that everyone will use, and that means that the left control stick moves the aircraft up and down, and you move the yaw to the left or right in a clockwise, anti-clockwise direction. The control stick on the right will move it forwards and back, and left and right. You can set the aircraft to take off with a strong GPS signal. You can have it no. I would always keep it on yes. Putting it on no, you could probably do with flying inside, but I do not recommend that. Controls. This shows you the model of the transmitter. The connection. We want Wi-Fi connection. Bluetooth will only give you a range of maybe 50 meters. So always make sure you have Wi-Fi selected. Select the aircraft. Always make sure you click on the Hubsan Zino and then press connect, and it should automatically connect to the quad. Wi-Fi channel settings. This does a very good job of selecting the best signal. If you're in an area and you're having real problems, you can go into this, have a look. You can see that channel 36 is really bad. You might be able to pick one of the others with less interference, but it seems to do a very good job of picking the right one. Below that we have the hardware version of the transmitter and the firmware version. And you'll see I'm on all the latest firmware. These settings are to do with the gimbal and the gimbal speed as you go from looking at the horizon to looking at the ground. You want the gimbal to go at a nice steady pace for video. And if you set this closer down, I have mine set at 10, and that gives it nice slow, so that if you're doing videos you can scan the area nice and slow. You don't want quick jerky movements. You can also calibrate the gimbal. I always recommend doing this on a table, on a flat surface, before you do anything else. You could do this every few flights. If you change the firmware, always make sure you calibrate the gimbal. Do all your calibrations after doing any firmware updates. If you have a crash, check everything out, make sure everything's good. Do all your calibrations again. Very, very important to have a good flight. You can see below, gimbal status is normal, and the version of the firmware that's on the gimbal. Next is the maps. You can set this if you want the maps to show on your phone. I've mine set to allow the calibration. It always shows where the aircraft is on the map. You can have standard, which is like on Google Maps. If you look at just the normal mode, I have it set up as hybrid. It gives a better detail of the road names, shows you exactly where you are. On this part, automatic screen rotation, if you want, I always set this to no, because once I have it set, I don't want to move the controller and have the screen turning upside down. FPV is the camera to the phone and shows you the picture that you're going to see through the camera. You can have metric or imperial. As I was saying before, you have to bind to the aircraft to do any other further stuff on the quad. So that's your GPS accuracy test. Always make sure you do that before every flight. Bind to the aircraft. Always have to bind to the aircraft. Novice guide. When you get the drone, I do recommend that you go through all this in the house. Set the quad up, turn it on, go through the app, familiarise yourself totally with everything that's on it. And as you see here, gives you details and shows you what everything is. And you really do need to learn and know exactly what it's capable of before you go and fly. And as you can see, you tap on the different stuff and it'll show for that first time what everything is. So there you can see that's running through the top as well as the settings along the top bar. If we press here, that gives you another screen which you can go normal mode, which is flying FPV, just basically flying about and you control the quad. Next one down, waypoints, that's setting your waypoint missions. Orbit mode, you need to be in GPS signal to be able to do most of all these modes. The follow me mode, where you can track a person, track a vehicle. If you go through my videos, I've one of me following a car. Creative video showing again. Most of these you do need to connect to the quad, go through all your calibrations before you can use any of these. It does need to be in the air. Next one down is your controller, and then it has the button below that is your automatic takeoff. Below there you see speed, and that gives you how fast you're going in meters per second. The next one is the height above the takeoff point. Doesn't matter whether you're on a mountainside at 400 meters above sea level, it'll always show 0 as where the aircraft takes off. So you have to be knowledgeable about the area, about maybe aircrafts in the area, and all the rules and regulations about where you can and cannot fly. Next we have the distance, and this is the distance the quad is from the controller. The next one is the yaw, and it gives you the degree that the quad is pointing. If you took off at, as it says, 235 and that, and then turn left, it'll add or subtract the degrees away from that, obviously in a 360 degree circumference. So over to the right hand side, and this is where we get into the camera. It's set up you can see here it's on picture. Press that and it moves to video mode. So we'll go through the picture settings first. Press there. This gives you video resolution, frame rate, white balance, color, video format. Obviously we'll want MP4. Go into settings. You can set your ISO, automatic or manual. Exposure is the same. And then you can go in and do your saturation, contrast, sharpness. You can set up grid lines on it. If you're taking pictures, video, wanting to get a really good picture, make sure it's straight. Format the SD card. Always recommend formatting the SD card in the quad. If you have it in your computer and you take the photos and stuff of it and you're going to format it in the computer, make sure it's formatted to FAT32. So we'll come out of that, change it to video mode, go back into settings, and this is where you can set 4K, 2.7K, 1080p and 720p. We can also set the frame rate. You'll see in 4K you can set the frame rate at 30 or 60. 2.7 frame rate, 30 and 60. 1080p frame rate, 30 and 60. So no matter what resolution you're in, you can video in 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. White balance. Depending on whether you've got clouds or a really good sunny day, I think this makes a big difference between hitting cloudy day and sunny day, as you'll see the difference in the camera, and that's inside. So it does make a big difference. I wouldn't set automatic. I don't think it does a good enough job. I think you need to go in and either pick whether it's sunny or cloudy. Colour, we can have ordinary colour. You could do black and white. Bright, which will add like more vivid colours maybe. I try to keep it at ordinary, and then if I want to do any modifying of the video, I do that in the editing. Or you can have nostalgic. We can all go back to 1970 and have a look at a video. And then the record button. Press it. I have no SD card in. It's very, very easy to forget to hit the record button. Or if you go and you do a follow mode, you need to stop the video, the follow mode, automatic, make sure you hit the record. When it's finished, that mode, the recording will stop. So you have to make sure that you press the record button at each time. So hopefully that has been of help to some people. If you want to learn more about the quad, please like, subscribe, hit that bell, and you'll get notified when I make more content. Also do the DJI Mavic Air, do videos on it, various things. So if you like this type of content, please hit that like button. Thanks for watching. Hope this content helped. See you again soon. Thanks very much. Bye.